the floor where they drop like bombs. Faceless voices running all the cons. Digital whispers in a binary night. No light, no face, pure sound, no sight. Stories unfold in the dark, unscrolled. Echoes of silence, secrets untold. Waves crash loud in this audio cave. No mic, no fame, just the sound we crave. Tune and turn up, let the silence break. Raw, unfiltered, hear the earthquake. No mic needed, just a vibe that's real. Faceless words you can touch and feel. In shadows, voices untamed. No need for spotlight, no claim to fame. Just a beat of life in a stream of thought. Every word a punchline, no need to be taught. Just listen close, no visuals needed. Raw conversation, unprocessed, unseated. Feel the pulse in every sentence said. No distractions, just thoughts in your head. Whispers of the streets, rumbling through. Faceless yet vivid, a world in view. No mic, just souls, connecting in flow. Pure and raw, let the rhythm go.
Ruth Barcan Marcus 1921–2012 was a highly influential American philosopher and logician, best known for her groundbreaking contributions to modal and philosophical logic. Her work fundamentally shaped 20th-century philosophy and continues to be debated and studied today. Ruth Barcan Marcus's early life laid the foundation for her significant contributions to philosophy and logic. She was born Ruth Charlotte Barcan in New York City on August 2, 1921. Her family background was notable. She was the third of three daughters born to secular Jewish immigrants of Eastern European descent. She grew up in the Bronx in an activist socialist household, indicating an early exposure to intellectual and perhaps critical thinking. Her father was a printer and a contributing writer at the Jewish Daily Forward, as well as an active member of the Socialist Party. Her mother was a homemaker who, after her husband's death when Ruth was 8, supported the family by taking in boarders. Marcus attended public school, including a selective junior high for intellectually precocious students, where one of her classmates was the future writer Grace Paley. She went on to pursue her higher education at New York University NYU, where she graduated magna cum laude in 1941, majoring in both mathematics and philosophy. She also studied some physics, history, and classics. It was at NYU that she informally learned mathematical logic from J.C.C. McKinsey, who recognized her talent and encouraged her interest in modal logic, both its technical and philosophical aspects, and suggested she pursue graduate studies at Yale. Following her graduation from NYU, she continued her studies at Yale University, earning her MA in 1942 and her PhD in 1946. Her doctoral dissertation focused on quantified modal logic, supervised by Frederick Fitch. This early research at Yale led directly to her groundbreaking papers published in 1946, which introduced the first formal systems of quantified modal logic and the now famous Barcan formula. It's also worth noting her extracurricular achievements during her early academic years. She edited a literary magazine, presided over the mathematics and philosophical societies, and was a champion fencer. It was fencing that introduced her to Jules Alexander Marcus, a physicist and fellow fencer, whom she married in 1942. They had 4 children before later divorcing. 1950, The Elimination of Contextually Defined Predicates in a Modal System, Journal of Symbolic Logic, 15-92. 1953, Strict Implication, Deducibility and the Deduction Theorem, Journal of Symbolic Logic, 18-3, 234-236. While a version appears in her 1993 collection, this is the original journal publication. Ruth Barcan Marcus's 1961 paper is titled Modalities and Intentional Languages, published in Synthes. In this paper, she lays the groundwork for modal logic, addressing its foundations and defending its usefulness in analyzing concepts like causation, entailment, obligation, and belief statements. She introduces the concept of intentional languages, distinguishing between strongly and weakly intentional languages based on how they handle the identity relation. Marcus argues for the importance of modal logic in formalizing languages and explores the challenges and potential solutions in this area. This work is considered foundational in the development of quantified modal logic and the philosophy of language. 1962a, discussion on the paper of Ruth B. Marcus, with W. V. Quine, Saul A. Kripke, J. McCarty, and Dagfinn Follistal, Synthes, 14-2-3, 132-143. This is a discussion of her work rather than a sole-authored paper, but it's a significant interaction. 1963a, Classes and Attributes in Extended Modal Systems, Proceedings of a Colloquium on Modal and Many-Valued Logics, Helsinki, 23-26 August, 1962, in Acta Philosophica Fennica, 16, 123-136. 1963b, Reply to Dr. Lambert, Inquiry, 61-4, 325-327. Her early career years after her PhD involved various postdoctoral fellowships and visiting positions, including a Guggenheim Fellowship 1953-1954. Notably, for a significant period from 1948 to 1963, she had no regular affiliation with a major department, living primarily as a wife and mother while continuing her work as a modal logician. Despite this, she remained professionally active, participating in the Chicago philosophical community and giving invited lectures. Her early publications were under her maiden name, Ruth C. Barcan, and it was only later that she began publishing under her married name, Ruth Barcan Marcus, reportedly at the insistence of Alonzo Church, then editor of the Journal of Symbolic Logic. 1965, Review of Aristotle's Modal Syllogisms, by Storrs McCall, The Philosophical Review, 74-4, 539-541. 1968, Modal Logic, in Contemporary Philosophy, Logic and Foundations of Mathematics, Vol. 1, Raymond Klibinski ed. Forenza, La Nuova Italia, pages 87-101. 1969, Logic and Philosophy of Logic, The Philosophical Quarterly, 1975, 189-204. This was followed by a pivotal role as the founding chair and professor of the philosophy department at the University of Illinois at Chicago UIC, where she served from 1964 to 1970. This appointment underscored the high regard for her intellectual prowess and leadership abilities, as she was tasked with building a new department from the ground up. She then moved to Northwestern University, where she was a philosophy professor from 1970 to 1973. 1971, Comment on Charles E. Cottone's Essentially Arising Questions and the Ontology of a Natural Language, News, 5, 37. The capstone of her academic journey came in 1973 when she returned to her alma mater, Yale University, as the prestigious Reuben Post Halleck Professor of Philosophy. She held this distinguished position until her retirement in 1992, at which point she became a professor emerita. Even in retirement, Her intellectual engagement never waned. She continued as a senior research scholar at Yale and maintained a consistent presence as a distinguished visiting professor at the University of California, Irvine, teaching one term each year. Beyond her formal roles, Marcus's subsequent work involved a relentless pursuit of philosophical inquiry and significant leadership within the profession. She consistently published on her core interests, actively defending her work on quantified modal logic against critics like W. V. Quine and meticulously clarifying the metaphysical implications of the Barcan formula. She further developed her tag theory of proper names, advocating for direct reference without descriptive intermediaries, a view that profoundly influenced the philosophy of language and anticipated later work by Kripke and Kaplan. Her arguments for the necessity of identity, stating that if two things are identical, they are necessarily so, also continued to evolve. 1972, Quantification and Ontology, News, 6-3, 240-250. A key paper on the metaphysical implications of her logic. 1975, The Logical Enterprise, edited with A. R. Anderson and R. M. Martin, Yale University Press. This volume was a collection of essays honoring her PhD supervisor, Frederick Fitch. 1976, Wiggins on Identity, Necessity, and Physicalism, in Philosophy of Logic, Papers and Discussions, Stephen Corner ed. Berkeley CA, University of California Press, pages 132 to 146. An engagement with another prominent philosopher's work. 1978a, Nominalism and the Substitutional Quantifier, Monist, 61-3, 351 to 362. Further development of her views on the interpretation of quantifiers. 1981, a proposed revision for the principle of rationality, believing the impossible, Midwest Studies in Philosophy, 6-1, 189 to 200. One of her significant papers on belief and rationality. 1986, Logic, Methodology, and Philosophy of Science, 7, edited with other distinguished scholars, North Holland. This book served as the proceedings of the 7th International Congress of Logic, Methodology, and Philosophy of Science. In some revisionary proposals about belief and believing, Ruth Barcan Marcus challenges conventional, language-centric views of belief, which often link belief directly to linguistic expression or inward assent to sentences. Instead, she proposes an object-centered view where belief is understood as a fundamental relation between a subject, the believer, and a state of affairs. This allows for the possibility of having beliefs even in the absence of explicit linguistic representation, such as in the case of animals or infants. A key implication of her view is that one cannot truly believe the impossible because it's impossible to stand in a belief relation to an impossible state of affairs. While we might sincerely assert or claim something impossible, these linguistic acts don't necessarily reflect genuine beliefs in Marcus's revised framework. She argues that this distinction helps resolve puzzles surrounding apparent irrationality or self-deception, suggesting that our expressed statements can often be poor indicators of our deeper, object-oriented beliefs. Her contributions extended into moral philosophy, where she notably argued that the existence of genuine moral dilemmas doesn't necessarily imply inconsistency in a moral code. She also explored intricate questions of rationality in belief, particularly how one can or cannot rationally believe the impossible. Many of these crucial papers were later collected in her acclaimed 1993 book, Modalities, Philosophical Essays, offering a comprehensive look at her thought. Marcus also took on vital leadership roles in various professional organizations. She served as president of the Association for Symbolic Logic from 1983 to 1986, and as chair of the National Board of Officers of the American Philosophical Association from 1977 to 1983, where she notably championed reforms in hiring practices to promote greater transparency and inclusivity for women in academia. Her international standing was recognized through her presidency of the Institut International de Philosophie from 1989 to 1992. She was also a dedicated mentor, especially to women entering the field, and a vocal advocate for intellectual rigor and fairness. Her sustained efforts and profound contributions earned her numerous accolades. Beyond her early Guggenheim Fellowship, she received the Medal of the Collège de France in 1986, was elected a Fellow of the American Academy of Arts and Sciences in 1977, and received an honorary doctorate from the University of Illinois at Chicago in 1995. Yale recognized her with the Wilbur Cross Medal in 2000, and in 2007, she became the first recipient of the American Philosophical Association's Philip Quinn Prize for Service to Philosophy and Philosophers. Ruth Barcan Marcus's remarkable life concluded on February 19, 2012, at the age of 90. She passed away in New Haven, Connecticut, leaving behind an unparalleled legacy in the fields of logic and philosophy. Her death marked the end of a long and influential career that profoundly shaped how philosophers understand modal logic, direct reference, and the nature of identity. Though gone, her groundbreaking work continues to be a cornerstone of contemporary philosophical debate and inquiry. References and notes. Dagfinn Follistal, Referential Opacity and Modal Logic, Routledge, 2014, p. 19. Fox, Margalit, March 13, 2012. Ruth Barcan Marcus, philosopher and logician, dies at 90. The New York Times. ISSN 0362-4331. Retrieved March 13, 2019. Williamson, Timothy 2013. In Memoriam, Ruth Barcan Marcus 1921-2012 PDF. Bulletin of Symbolic Logic. 19.1, 123-126. doi 10.2178 BSL.1901070. ISSN 1079-8986. S2 SID 1245922216. Leiter, B. Leiter Reports, a philosophy blog, Timothy Williamson's tribute to Ruth Barcan Marcus on the occasion of her receipt of the Lawiner Prize. Leiterreports.typepad.com. Retrieved August 19, 2016. Gendler, T.S. Ruth Barcan Marcus, Jewish Women's Archive, a comprehensive historical encyclopedia, February 27, 2009. Marcus, Ruth Barcan 1921encyclopedia.com. www.encyclopedia.com. Retrieved March 22, 2019. Latches, J. N. Talese, RBEDS American Philosophy, an Encyclopedia, New York, Routledge, 2008, p. 481. Craig, E. ed. Routledge Encyclopedia of Philosophy, Volume 8, Abingdon-on-Thames, Routledge, 1998, p. 164. Kripke, S.A. Naming and Necessity, Cambridge, Ma, Harvard University Press, 1972. Timothy Williamson's tribute to Ruth Barcan Marcus on the occasion of her receipt of the Lawiner Prize, Leiter Reports, a philosophical blog, October 14, 2008. Neal, S. No plagiarism here, the originality of Saul Kripke. academyia.edu TLS. Retrieved August 19, 2016. See Moral Dilemmas and Consistency, The Journal of Philosophy, 1980. See a proposed solution to a puzzle about belief foundations of analytic philosophy in Midwest Studies, 1981 and Rationality and Believing the Impossible, The Journal of Philosophy, 1983 and elsewhere. Marcus, Ruth. Barcan, 1962. Interpreting Quantification. Inquiry. 5124, 252-259. doi 10.10800020174620860135 ISSN 0020-174X. Marcus, R.B. Modalities, Philosophical Essays, Oxford, Oxford University Press, 1993, pages 190-196. Staff, Honorary Degrees, University of Illinois Chicago, 1995.
Mics on the floor where they drop like bombs. Faceless voices running all the cons. Digital whispers in a binary night. No light, no face, pure sound, no sight. Stories unfold in the dark, unscrolled. Echoes of silence, secrets untold. Waves crash loud in this audio cave. No mic, no fame, just the sound we crave. Tune in, turn up, let the silence break. Raw, unfiltered, hear the earthquake. No mic needed, just the vibe that's real. Faceless words you can touch and feel. Hidden in shadows, voices untamed. No need for spotlight, no claim to fame. Just a beat of life in a stream of thought. Every word a punchline, no need to be taught. Just listen close, no visuals needed. Raw conversation, unprocessed, unseated. Feel the pulse in every sentence said. No distractions, just thoughts in your head. Whispers of the streets, rumbling through. Faceless yet vivid, a world in view. No mic, just souls, connecting in flow. Pure and raw, let the rhythm go. Pure and raw. Pure and raw. Silence break, raw, unfiltered, hear the earthquake. No mic needed, just the vibe that's real. Faceless words you can touch and feel. Tune in, turn up, let the silence break. Raw, unfiltered, hear the earthquake. No mic needed, just the vibe that's real. Faceless words you can touch and feel. Pure and raw.
Play.